I've always been obsessed with video games. When I was growing up, my parents couldn't tear me away from the TV, whether I was trying to 100% Ocarina of Time, unlocking all the achievements in Golden.
Yeah, bro, like, what? That sucks. My mom, you know, like, while his mom was telling me to go to bed, my mom was sitting next to me. She said, you could stay up. It was like, I was in like 4th or 5th grade, and she knew we were on the last boss. She's like, nah, you don't have to go to bed. This shit is getting real. And I remember I beat that game that night.
Or having my friend's Ness destroy me in another round of Smash Brothers. It was also around this time I was—
How many of y'all had a friend that played Ness that would just stand on the edge of the platform and just shoot the yellow things, or just shoot the little fucking electricity things? Oh man, I had like 2 friends that would do that.
introduced to PC games, and as a result, MMOs. A few years later, a friend in my circle would tell our group he planned to play a game called Lineage 2. It was an MMO with castle sieges and PvE and PvP. I degened Lineage 2, and about 6 months after that, a game called World of Warcraft would launch. We dove into that as well. We all dreamed of the day we'd be adults with enough money to build awesome PCs, have blazing fast internet, and the free will to play games we wanted without worrying about studying for a test the next day, or that homework assignment that we were procrastinating on.
But see, what they didn't predict was taxes. Yeah, they didn't know about that.
Fast forward, I graduate, I move out, I get a setup better.
Having to set up your own doctor's appointments. Bro, like, please take me back to the time where I only got 20 FPS in a video game.
Than I could have dreamed of, and the freedom to play anything I want, anytime I want, only to arrive at a day where I didn't want to play an MMO anymore. I hear this same story echoed by people all the time, and so I thought I'd share the things I did to solve this problem for myself. It worked out for me, and I hope that doing these things will get you to a point where you find yourself looking forward to playing an MMO you love again. So here's 6 tips to reignite your passion for the MMO genre. Don't be a hamster. Hamster cages are fascinating. We can put a wheel into a hamster cage, and that hamster will get on it and run every day. He's not accomplishing anything. He's not really going anywhere. And if we remove the cage—
This is why I quit Tower of Fantasy, by the way. Like, that's actually really the reason, is that I just felt like I was logging on to do hamster wheel activities that would just be easier in time. Yeah, I just stopped playing it because it was like I just had to do this same thing over and over and over, and I couldn't really get ahead. I knew that I couldn't fall that far behind because I think if you were 2 levels within the max level, you would get like a massive experience boost. So it was like, I just said, fuck it.
Probably ditch the wheel and explore other parts of the room that the cage is in. The main reason the hamster is only interacting with the wheel—
I only care about getting on a hamster wheel if I know that eventually that wheel will go somewhere. So like in Lost Ark, I completed every adventure journal. That's right. I got every single Omnium star. I have fucking, like, I did a lot. And also, by the way, I stopped doing all this like 8 months ago. Something like that. Yeah, probably 8 months ago. So I was done that far long ago.
Is because the cage is keeping him there. MMOs cram their games with hamster wheels. We know them as dailies. Dailies in MMOs are often guilty of being more rewarding than they are fun. It's low effort, recyclable content that the player wouldn't engage with on a daily basis, if not for the carrot on the end of the stick. The idea behind dailies is twofold.
I think dailies are good for games. I know that people don't like dailies, but I think that they're actually good for games, even though people say they dislike them.
Is to give us things to do every day. The other is FOMO, get us to feel like we need to log in, if only for a moment, to get those dailies done. Every MMO has a litany of unfun dailies that we can do, that many feel compelled to do. Dailies are not inherently bad, oftentimes they're even fun, at least until they're not anymore. The problem arrives when we've done these dailies dozens of times, and they've become a job rather than a hobby. When we are doing them because we—
And they're a pain in the dick. That's why, like, I stopped doing the Lost Ark Guardians. Oh, good. Let's do Velganos again. Oh, wow. Somebody messed up the pizza mechanic. Okay, it's a wipe. Oh, my God. Like, again and again and again. And then remember Kungolanium? Remember how great it was with the bird, Descaluda? It was perfect. You just kill the bird's dead. Then they bring out this new fucking turtle, and this turtle is just ruining everything. I never even did him.
feel we should, not because we want to. The solution is simple. We need to get off the hamster wheel, branch out and explore the rest of the world in our chosen MMO. MMOs generally have a million things that we can do. Try to make it a point to do the things that you've never done before. Level classes you've never leveled, level trades you've never tried, go to zones you haven't explored yet, and do the quests you've never done. There are always cosmetics or mounts you can earn that you haven't yet earned, achievements that you've not achieved. Try logging in and doing only things you've never done, and break free from the loop that you haven't stopped to question. Right now, when you log in, you already know what you're going to do. Rather than logging in and doing the same
I think that that's why I stayed interested in WoW for so long. And I still play WoW. It's for the completionism content. That's what I like the most about it.
Thing you've done every day for as long as you can remember, do anything else. So often when I talk to an MMO player, they say, I only have time for my dailies and then I have to log off. They've turned the MMO into their second job. Why? How did...
That's the fucking crazy shit, man, is you have people that they spend all day working. They don't want to be at work. And then they come home and now they're playing a game they don't want to play. Why are you alive? What is this all? What are we working for here? Where is this going?
And how much of this is our fault as the player? This thought process leads us to the next topic. Dare to be inefficient. A lot of MMO players get stuck doing the least fun things in the game each day simply because those things are considered efficient. This happens to a lot of players because if there's one thing that's true of most MMO players, it's that...
That's exactly what I did. Is I started, that's what I was saying about Lost Ark, is I just started farming the shitty, I started farming the shittier Guardian. That was really easy. And we killed it every time. It took like 4 minutes, and it dropped 3 Guardian stones, or you know, like honor stones. The other one dropped 5. Like, it is what it is.
They seek out efficiency, sometimes at the cost of all else. MMO players will min-max the fun right out of the game if given the opportunity. I know, because I'm speaking from...
Which, by the way, is the developer's fault.
Experience. This is something
that 100% the developer's fault. If the best way to play the game is by doing something that's super unfun and repetitive and boring, the developer, the reason why that's the case is because the developer programmed it that way. It's never the player's fault.
If we looked back on the days of our MMO journey that we enjoyed the most, we probably weren't doing. We don't look back on our MMO golden years and think about logging in to do our dailies that we'd been doing every day.
I do, man. Dude, how many of you guys remember back in like Burning Crusade? Like whenever we would finish Sunwell or something in BC, at the end of BC, and like all the boys, like you'd all get into like your 5-man group channel in Ventrilo, I mean, not Discord, in Ventrilo, and you would do the Isle of Qualdanis dailies, and you would kill the other faction, and it would be like super easy because like everybody in like my guild, we had like fucking Black Temple gear and like Sunwell shit, so we would just destroy people, and we were such assholes about it. Oh man, I went so hard on that. I remember doing dailies with a lot of my friends, actually. That was fun.
For months. No, they were the golden years because we were doing precisely the opposite. We weren't thinking about what the most efficient use of our time was.
I absolutely was, by the way. So basically, the first year that the Brewfest Kodo was added into the game, I saw that there was somebody in a guild I didn't recognize the name of that got the Kodo, and I couldn't stand the thought that a player that was inferior to me would have a mount that I didn't have. So I farmed this mount out for, I probably did about 30 runs a day for this mount, and it was not as convenient as it is now. It was like really hard, and I had to get like my friends and like my friends' friends to come in to give me a summon of Corrin Direbrew so I could kill it over and over and over. And you know what? I got the fucking mount. I fucking got it. And I remember how good I felt at like after like 3 weeks of it, and it was so fucking good. And I would ride it around town in like Ironforge. I'd have like my season 4 gear on, and I was fucking better than everybody.
Thinking about which dailies we needed to go do before we could go out and actually play the MMO.
Yeah.
We were just following our axe or our sword or our staff wherever it took us.
Not
anywhere
me.
We hadn't been yet.
Not me. I'm gonna pause it again. Not me. All my friends back in Vanilla WoW, they were all like level 23, level 31, talking to each other in Stormwind. like leveling up their cooking profession. I said, what the fuck are you losers doing? Level up your first aid and come out here and quest with me. I'm level 40. I was the first of all my friends to hit level 60. Actually, no, there was one girl that hit level 60 before me, but to be fair, she didn't have a job. So it was really kind of hard to compete. I was still in high school at the time. But yeah, thought you didn't play vanilla? No, I hit 60 in vanilla. I got my epic mount in vanilla. I raided in vanilla. I just didn't do a lot in vanilla. I didn't complete vanilla.
Something we saw someone else have that we wanted. A lot of times what we were doing in MMOs was fun largely because of what we hoped to be able to do the next day.
Exactly.
We were grinding out levels and gear so that we would be qualified to visit the next unknown, the zone that we'd never entered, the mobs that we'd never fought, and the loot that we hadn't seen yet. We weren't logging in to do the same set of dailies we did every day for the last week, month, or year. If we don't have anything to look forward to, if there's no longer something unknown over the horizon, if the only thing keeping us logging into the game is dailies for the sake of efficiency, it might be time to accept that we've become the hamster on the wheel. We're treating our MMO like there's a cage keeping us on this wheel. We're treating our MMO like it's a job, except our boss isn't paying us. We're paying our boss. We've entered the final stage in any MMO player's career. We're logging in to do dailies, and then we're logging out. We stopped looking forward to these dailies a long time ago, but they never stopped being efficient, so we kept doing them. Maybe we've done everything we wanted to in our current MMO. Maybe there's nothing unknown left that appeals to us, and dailies are the only thing easy enough to knock out in a game we don't have the motivation to actually play anymore. We are probably burned out on our MMO. Whether it is good or not doesn't matter. It's like listening to your favorite song until it's played out. At some point, you don't want to listen to it anymore. The song isn't all of a sudden bad, you just heard it too many times. When we burn out on our favorite song or our favorite meal, the next time we choose a different one. Why do we think MMOs would be any different? So perhaps it's time to acknowledge.
There have been times I would get Taco Bell like a week in a row, though. Like every day.
That you don't look forward to logging in, and acknowledge that there is no cage forcing you to get on the same hamster wheel every day simply for the sake of efficiency. If we have a ton of currency in our MMO, but we don't enjoy spending it, does it matter? And this leads us to our next point. But first, a word from our sponsor. Call of Dragons takes place in an immersive, epic fantasy world. You can train behemoths with your alliance and unleash them as your secret weapon. Level up.
I have to tell you, of all of the phone game ads, this one I enjoy the most. I actually think this game doesn't look like complete literal dog shit.
Heroes with unique skills that can turn the tide of battle in an instant. Pair heroes with complementary skills together and deploy them in battle to own the battlefield. If I was a kid, I would have played this. You can even put your roster of heroes alongside other allied players' forces and unleash artifact skills for an even bigger battlefield boost. The game also features true 3D terrain that shapes gameplay. Melee and range units mean more battlefield freedom. You can even take to the skies with flying units. There are many ways to fight, including PvP, GvE, and GvG.
I've wanted to actually go and do a stream where I unironically go and play a game like Call of the Dragon, or whatever the fuck this is called, or Raid Shadow Legends, or AFK Arena, and I actually play these games for real. I go in there and I play them for real. And I see what they're actually like, because all you see are sponsored content about the game. Like, nobody even, play Nikke, Goddess of Adventure, and really see what it's like. For free, yes, for free. Just to, because it's like everybody talks about it, but nobody really knows.
Deploy up to 5 legions to build truly huge battles.
I think it'd be a good idea,
so that you can fight without fear. Call of Dragons features classic 4x gameplay, now better than ever. You can zoom in and out of a huge seamless map. Call of Dragons comes from the creators of Rise of Kingdoms. The development team has a wealth of experience in creating in-depth strategy games, helping to make Call of Dragons truly amazing. So be sure to experience this high-quality game with cinematic graphics and a huge talented voiceover cast. Download Call of Dragons now using my link in the description and start your adventure today. Thanks for listening, and now let's get back to the video. MMOs are a game, not a marriage. Right now, there are more MMOs with millions of players than any time before. If someone is looking for an MMO today, they have more quality options than ever. Perhaps make it a point to try new MMOs. Try to understand why some of the more popular ones have millions of players playing them.
I think that my outlook on playing MMOs is actually the most healthy. Is that I will degen and play the game non-stop, obsessively, and I will get the best gear in the game, and then I will quit the game. I'm done. That's it. It's over. I beat it.
those MMOs a chance. The hamster wheel you're on will still be there if you ever
And then
want to go back.
when they
It's been
add
there
new
for
content, I
years,
come
and
back
it will
and get
still
that
be
too.
there in the same spot doing the same thing for years to come. But if we don't get off the hamster wheel for a while, that MMO will never be fun again. MMO players are some of the most tribalist communities on the internet.
yeah.
Oftentimes, all they know is they love their MMO and they hate every other MMO. They don't even need to play the other MMOs to know they hate them. They just know. These same players log into the MMO they love
just
and
know.
feel unmotivated. In other words, they're bored. And yet they log into their MMO and not any of the other ones because in their minds, their MMO is the best MMO. And maybe it is the best MMO or not, but
Well, it's because they've invested a lot of time into it. They don't want to just like lose all that effort and time they put into the game. That would be crazy.
doesn't matter because of the way humans are built. Sometimes new is better than best. Eventually, we get bored of the best. We get numb to the best because we've already experienced the best too many times. The thrill of victory isn't there the 50th time you clear the dungeon.
That's true.
Collecting the 500th pet just isn't as exciting as when you collected the first. You'll probably look at the pet as you unlock it,
Depends
maybe
on the
even
pet.
smile, and probably never look at it again. MMOs definitely suffer from declining returns on our time investment. The longer we play an MMO, the less rewarding every minute we play is. As a direct result, the less fun it becomes. The 200th mount is seldom as rewarding as the first. The same is said for the 200th.
I never really felt that way. It was about which mount it is. Like, whenever I got Invincible, I remember that. That was a good day. That was a very good day for me. So, I think it depends on what game it is and all that.
Cosmetic or the 200th quest. And there isn't an easy solution to this. MMO bloat is a thing and it's a real problem for the genre. Games were never meant to be forever, and yet with the MMO genre, some of us are trying to make them so. We get to a point where the fact that we have so much accomplished in an MMO is what's keeping us there.
Yeah.
But it's also exactly why we don't get excited about accomplishing more. We've become numb to it. It's a sword that is cutting both ways. But what if I told you we didn't have to break up with the MMO to enjoy another? What if I told you that we could play more than one MMO at once? What if I told you that we could play as many MMOs as we wanted? We are not married to our MMO. We don't need to hate other MMOs. We don't need to get upset with people who dare to enjoy other MMOs. They're not cheating on our MMO. Our MMO is little more than a corporate machine built to extract money from us and hopefully entertain us in the process.
Yeah.
Our MMO does not care about us. It is not our partner, and it would likely replace us with someone that is willing to spend more money on it in a heartbeat if it could. And if
Accurate game.
If we look at the cash shops in a lot of MMOs these days, we see that many of them have done exactly that.
Yes.
Someday, the MMO we can't separate ourselves from will shut down. The servers will turn off and everything we've accomplished will disappear. It's a game, not a marriage. Go see other MMOs, live your best life, experience the best those MMOs have to offer, and then leave when you arrive at the hamster wheel. You know what it looks like by now. You've seen it before. There is no shame in walking away from the hamster wheel this time, only wisdom. When all that's left are dailies, and most importantly, when you're no longer having fun, close the MMO
I never
and move
got
on
the
to
ring.
the next one, or back to the one that you were taking a break from. The hard truth is that the first month in a good MMO is more fun than the 50th month in the perfect MMO. Take a
That's very true. I think that MMOs, like the beginning of the game, is always so fucking good. Even in bad MMOs, it's still fun because people are experiencing something that's totally new and it's totally different. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
chance on a new MMO. After all, that's how you found your favorite MMO in the first place.
Yep.
As they say, variety is the spice of life. This next one is easier said than done, but it's also an incredibly important one for a lot of people. Make friends in the MMOs you play. Now, if you do find the energy and the courage to venture into a brand new MMO, there's a lot of hurdles. You go from being the wise veteran to the know-nothing noob. It can be jarring, but try to revel in the unknown. It's what motivated you once upon a time.
Talking about reveling in the unknown, just pull the extra trash mobs. Like, just see what happens. Because, like, they're never going to know it's you. They're right there. Like, there's no way they can blame that shit on you. Like, that's what I would have done instantaneously.
In your
Like,
MMO
fuck
glory
clearing
days.
trash.
Every piece of loot you find is once again a potential upgrade. Every cosmetic you unlock is way better than what you're wearing. There is so much you haven't done yet. Focus on all of these types of positives rather than the stress that comes with figuring out a new MMO. You will learn it in time and only as fast as you want to. For some, the hardest part of leaving an MMO will be leaving a social circle. Now, many of you will say, what social circle? My guild died ages ago. Many of you are nearly all that's left of your social circle. And whether you realize it or not, that's a large part.
Yeah, that's kind of sad. Is like whenever I think of, you know, I remember it was like a realization I had, I guess it was in like BFA or Legion at some point, that whenever like this one guy quit the guild, I would be now the longest member in the guild. That was like an aware moment. That holy shit. Now I'm the veteran member. Now I'm the guild master. Oh my god.
Part of why you aren't having as much fun in your MMO anymore. Maybe
It was so awful too, because like I remember I was an officer and the other two officers did everything and I didn't have to do anything, but I would still get all the loot. And then one day I woke up and I was going to tell them that I was going to be late for raid again because I just didn't feel like getting out of bed. And then in our like group chat, our guildmaster said that he was quitting the game. And I was so sad because I knew that I would actually have to show up to raid on time. Oh, it was awful. Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad. Oh my god, because I had to fucking show up and make the raid and everything. It was so fucking bad.
You're like me. You still love MMOs and you still try them, but few, if any, of your real-life friends play them anymore. My real-life friends fell in love with other genres or met partners who didn't game and had to cut back their gaming time. Some had kids, all have jobs, and I'm all that's left except for one friend who plays WoW Classic and only WoW Classic. Power to him. But
it's my friend Eric. and Dylan plays fucking Turtle WoW. He doesn't even play actual WoW. Let's see, who else do I know? Well, I guess Cody plays WoW on and off, so just Jeff. Fuck. I'm trying to think, like, who else it is. Like, I'm thinking, like, you know, like, people I knew, like, I grew up with, right? Real-life friends. Nick? Well, I mean, I guess, like, what I'm saying is, like, people I grew up with. I went to high school with, middle school. Yeah, I think that's about it. Zach still plays.
MMOs are best enjoyed with others. The camaraderie means more than we admit to ourselves. Unlocking a rare mount feels so much more rewarding when we can share it with our friends. Whereas unlocking a rare mount or cosmetic and having no one to share it with is quickly forgotten. It doesn't end up being a memory we cherish in the same way. If this is you, you have to approach MMOs differently. If you want to get from them today what you got from them in the past.
That's true. Like back whenever I got Invincible, dude, people would DM me every dungeon I went into. Every battleground I went into, they were like, bro, what the fuck, you have Invincible? And I was like, yeah. And like, dude, I would get so many compliments just for having this mount.
You need to put yourself out there. Terrifying.
I got more, dude, I got more DMs for having Invincible than I did for being a streamer.
You should join a guild and make friends if your best MMO memories included being in a guild and having friends. You can't find these experiences again without first finding a guild or a group of people to have those experiences with. It's easy to feel like we're uniquely awkward or uniquely antisocial or uniquely quiet. I hate to break it to you, but we MMO players don't abstain from the real world to live inside of virtual worlds all day because we are extroverted social butterflies. We are all a lot more alike than we give ourselves credit for, and there are people today experiencing their MMO golden year right now. They are playing their first MMO. They are excited and exhilarated to log in and play every day. Join a guild of people with this positive mindset. Look for people who are...
I don't know how true that is, really. Like, I don't know. I feel like you can't really replicate how it was back in the day because like now you have social media and like internet and everything. So it's like hard to say it's the same.
Having fun and who still enjoy the genre, and have fun with them. Just like you were once in love with an MMO and couldn't stop playing it, there are people going through that exact experience right now for the first time in an MMO that you haven't played yet. Some of them are starting that MMO today. Join up with them, make friends, and have those friends that are online every time you log in. Have friends that are BSing in the Discord voice chat every night when you get home from work or when you roll out of bed in the morning. These guilds exist all over.
Dude, I remember I would leave my Ventrilla, I'd leave my computer on. Like every day I leave I never turn my computer off. Like, how long has my computer been on? It's been on now for 19 days. So, I never turn it off. And, basically, and, like, I would wake up in the morning and I would hear my friend, this is gonna sound like so fucking, like, such, it'd be so dumb. So I would sleep in my other room and I would walk in to the bathroom, which was right next to my room, and I could hear my friends in the Disinvent Trillo channel talking to each other right as I woke up, and I would be like, wow, it's gonna be a good day, and I would put on my headphones and I would talk to my friends in Ventrilo, and we would play like Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King, or like Cataclysm. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, I would hear them before I even got on the computer, because I'd just leave myself in the Discord channel overnight, or fuck Ventrilo channel.
They're full of people exactly like you. People whose favorite thing is to play an MMO they enjoy. People who love the camaraderie MMOs provide in-game or in Discord without having to leave their house.
Yeah.
This is still happening, but perhaps we stopped looking for it because we already had it once. We had the guilds, we had the circle of friends, and so we stopped looking for more. But as that slowly eroded, as those people slowly moved on, we find ourselves feeling alone. The only people that remain are other hamsters logging in to do the same dailies alone that you yourself are logging in to do alone. We forgot to look for a new circle to replace the old one when it died. If that circle of people was a large part of why you enjoyed the genre before, it's up to you to find a new circle so that you can enjoy the genre that way again.
Yep.
The perfect guild for you is out there. You just gotta be willing to look for it. Now let's talk about the meta. A topic I hear thrown around a lot is that the meta has ruined MMOs for people. They miss the days when
this was never true, by the way. This whole idea of, oh, I remember back in the day, whatever, you used to get invited to a raid based on how good your personality was. This never fucking happened, okay? But we were kicking people out in, like, Burning Crusade just for having low health. Like, we would inspect people, and, like, a mage has a spirit gem in? Fuck out of here, piece of shit. Warriors gymming attack power and not strength? Get out of here, you piece of shit. Nobody wants to look at you.
there wasn't one.
Yeah, we were
gatekeeping. Was exploring.
Oh, we were absolutely gatekeeping classes. We were gatekeeping everything.
Things for the first time without knowing the answers, before evil content creators ruin the genre by sharing their knowledge of the games they play.
We didn't even have Armory by then.
A world without metas still exists in many forms. The first is in new MMO launches. Every time a new MMO comes out, it's a glorious mess. No one knows which skills are good, which builds are good, which classes are good. Even the content creators are just putting together best guesses based on constantly changing variables from a wildly turbulent beta. What's the best way to kill the dungeon boss? No one knows. Or maybe the one guy in the group finally beat it last night and he shares it with the group. Yes, some of this is lost during extensive betas, but not
I think this is true. Like, that's the best thing, is like the group learning element of it, where nobody knows and somebody finally figures out the right way to do it.
Really as much as you would think. Most people that play MMOs don't research information from the beta before they start playing. I've had this exact experience with every new MMO that has launched, and it's been a blast. But that's because I don't look at MMOs as marriage. I don't expect an MMO to be the last game I ever play, and so I'm never disappointed when I eventually leave it to play another game. If you break that mentality that MMOs are marriage and instead look at new MMOs as crazy new adventures unspoiled by metas that haven't arrived yet, you might find that you have a great time with new MMO launches. In my opinion, MMO launches are often the funnest times to play an MMO. Everyone is picking the abilities that sound fun or look cool. Everyone is brand new. There's an energy and a buzz in the community that you never feel again after the launch.
Lost Ark was like that. Lost Ark was like that so much. It's like whenever the game first came out, it was so hype. Everybody was playing it. It was so fun. New World was like that too.
There's going to be bugs, and someone always figures out how to dupe. And sure, that will be annoying in the moment, but for those annoyances, you get at least a month of that sweet, no meta MMO experience unrivaled by any other moment in that MMO's life. If you feel like the meta is ruining MMOs for you, but you're not playing new MMOs when they launch, you might be the thing that's preventing you from enjoying the genre. Now, many of you are watching this video because you're not enjoying your MMO anymore. Whether you realize it or not, you are burned out on your all-time favorite MMO. That's why you're not enjoying it anymore. You need something that isn't that, which means you need to give other MMOs a chance. More specifically, you need to give an MMO that isn't a clone of your MMO a chance. Rather than asking yourself if an MMO is good enough to play for 5 years, ask if it's good enough to play for 5 weeks.
That's what I always think. Like, that's very true. I totally agree with this, because like there's so many people who try to go and like, yeah, but like what if they make the game bad in 2 years? Well, I don't know.
I mean, fuck, I don't know. I stopped playing it. Like, fuck. Yeah. I'm gonna have fun now, and then it's like with Diablo 4. Yeah, but what if they make it paid? Like, I'm just gonna stop playing it at that point. Then if they make it good after that, I'll come back. It's not a big deal.
The first 5 weeks are always some of the most fun because everything is new. It's
like nothing. I don't want to play Guild Wars 2 because I look at the game. It looks like shit. I just look at the game. It looks bad. I judge a book by its cover. You don't want that's that problem. Should have had a better cover. I ain't playing that shit.
Unknown. The levels and progression are
coming
at a reasonable rate. You don't know what's around every corner yet. You don't know what the next zone looks like.
They nerfed him too, by the way.
The only way to get that feeling is to seek it out and to be open-minded about playing something new.
That was so cool.
If you're not used to trying new MMOs, they can feel like your first sip of beer or coffee or tea when you were young. They might seem awful at first because they're so different from what you're used to, but over time you start to appreciate them for being different. And before you know it, it's a familiar taste that you even crave. Now it's time for another hard pill for us to swallow. There's another way to avoid the meta.
I remember this one, this fucking cinematic where Thor is going to defuse a bomb that was put by a necromancer. I think his name was Sigmund or Siegfried or some shit like that. And Vergris, the first guardian, just comes out of nowhere and Thor's like, what about the bomb? And the dragon is like, it's diffused, it's gone. And he just magically despawned the bomb. Crisis averted.
Have to play a brand new MMO to avoid the meta.
Fucking funny.
We can play any MMO without following the meta. What? You think you're the only person who doesn't want to Google how to take down the last boss in a dungeon before you run it? Not only are you not the only person that feels this way, you are everywhere. I know this for a fact because I queue into groups full of you every time I pug a trial or a dungeon in any MMO. They are full of people with non-meta builds, doing non-meta levels of damage, with no idea what the mechanics are or what they should be doing.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm one of these people, focusing first on having a good time and second on optimizing the fun out of my build. We are the arbiters of our destiny in this regard.
I'm not the only person that does it.
We can choose to spoil ourselves by looking up the best way to beat that story boss, looking up the best build, or we can choose to go in blind and figure it out ourselves. But whatever you do, don't Google a guide and then say the meta is
this Weeb Godfrey? Yeah. Godric? Yeah, this is Weeb Godric, guys. Or I guess it'd be Weeb Godfrey too, actually.
ruining the genre. That's like shooting your tire and then complaining that it's flat. There's always someone else out there that's willing to go through the content blind. We know because they are always in our groups in every MMO we play, standing in the red, failing mechanics they didn't research in advance, and using a loadout that's far from optimal. They are everywhere, and they aren't hard to find. So if metas are ruining MMOs for you, next time you run into one of these people, add them as a friend, join their guild, or make your own guild and invite them. Tell them that you love that they are forging their own path through the game, stay positive, and relish in the non-meta. Find a group of like-minded people to enjoy the game with so that you're not berated for not serving the meta gods. This topic is so much more in our hands than we might want to admit because we're far from being the only people to feel this way. We've got two options to escape the meta. We either put in the tiniest amount of effort to connect with people like us, or we play an MMO launch where nobody knows anything. This last one is probably a topic that a lot of people fall into. The old, it's not them, it's you. I talk to a lot of people who come into my stream or comment on my YouTube videos and ask me, hey Lucky, what MMO should I play, man? I've tried every major MMO and none of them are fun. I've played like—
Then stop playing them. The fuck is wrong with you? Just stop playing. Like, alright, yeah, it's pretty simple.
10 MMOs in the last 2 months. I hate all of them. And my response is, so you tried every major MMO with millions of players each, and you found no joy in any of them. Well, the bad news is that means it's not them, it's you. It sounds like you're burnt out on the genre. If you've been playing MMOs for the last 5 or 10 or 20 years, you may just need to take a break and give another genre a chance for a bit. Every MMO is different, but also—
Yeah, I felt like this whenever I played Elden Ring and whenever I played Valheim. Like, it was a really good departure from playing MMOs, and it felt good to come back and play an MMO after that.
Every MMO is a lot the same. There's a very visible thread that ties them all together. And once you realize that there are only a few types of quests in every MMO, you see why it's so easy to burn out on not just one of them, but all of them. Every quest in every MMO is little more than one of these three things. Go talk to person A, or kill monster Y, or collect object X. That's it. Talk, kill, collect. The MMO formula in a nutshell. And it is very much possible to get numb to that formula if you don't find ways to deviate from it enough, either by playing completely different genres or MMOs that are so different from one another that they almost feel like a different genre. But eventually the formula can become stale, and eventually we all need a palate cleanser. If you still love gear progression, inventory, and exploration, maybe try survival games. If you miss how hard MMOs used to—
Isn't that crazy how, like, the two games that I literally talked about, he's actually using as an example? What the fuck? Literally Elden Ring and Valheim. What the fuck is that? Wow.
to feel like everything is too easy now, play some Souls-likes to experience the thrill of victory again. If you enjoy the—
I'm gonna be honest, like, I feel like I have to play games besides Elden Ring, like, to feel good about winning in a game. Like, I don't ever feel good about beating bosses in Elden Ring because I know too much about the game. And I know how to stack buffs and just one-shot the boss. Like, it's not even hard. Like, the game's a fucking joke because I just played it so much.
story and the lore in MMOs, maybe finally give those story-driven RPGs everyone's been raving about a chance. Last of Us, God of War, The Witcher, Cyberpunk, Final Fantasy. If you love looting things, try the most popular RPGs like Diablo 2, 3, and soon to be 4. Try Path of Exile, try Grim Dawn, or Last Epoch. Every day, MMO players try games like these for the first time and find out that they absolutely love them. Then they play them until one day, a ways down the road, they start to burn out on their palate cleanser. The MMO that they used to play sounds a little more fun with each passing day until one day it finally sounds more fun than the game that they're playing. Their palate has finally been cleansed and MMOs are fun again. If your favorite genre is the MMO genre and it's the only thing you love to play, but you can't seem to enjoy any MMO you try, it's likely the best thing you can do to regain your love for the genre is to turn your back on it for a while. As they say, absence makes the heart grow fonder. It's true of MMOs as it is of love. But be warned, sometimes that absence also gives us clarity, the distance to see that we weren't enjoying the MMO anymore and that we don't want to go back. Sometimes we are only one break from quitting an MMO forever, and that's okay. If that's the case, it's
a fucking game. Like, chill out. Just stop. But it's a game. Holy fuck, man.
We are having more fun playing something else. Maybe another MMO, or maybe anything else entirely. Now for my final thoughts. I think for most people watching this video, the solution is going to be some combination of these answers. Most are hesitant to try new MMOs, and many of those that do try new MMOs don't enjoy them because they aren't burnt out on one specific MMO. They are burnt out on the MMO formula as a whole. For others, the thing they miss isn't provided by the MMO at all. They miss the social interaction and the experiences that being in an active guild provide. But there are thousands of active guilds in every MMO. We just have to find them. We put ourselves out there and joined an active guild back in our glory day. What's stopping us from doing that today? If you were to self-diagnose, which one of these things would you say is the problem for you? Or is it something completely different? I'd love to hear your thoughts on the matter. This video was—
I feel like one of the big reasons why I don't really get as excited about MMOs and stuff like this is because the social experiences in a lot of MMOs sucks donkey dick. Like, this is what an MMO needs for it to have a good social experience. MMOs need this for good social experience. Okay? Guilds. Proximity voice chat. Guild chat that works and is good. Guild environments. Guild challenges. I feel like that's mainly what they need. Like, and I feel like almost no game has all of these. No pay to win. Pay to win doesn't matter. That's not what's holding it back. Lost Ark has most of that, and it sucks. It doesn't have proximity voice chat. The immersion in Lost Ark is dog shit because it's isometric. And I think also the chat feature in Lost Ark is also trash. So, like, if I was going to make a tier list for chat, WoW has the best chat. I would say Final Fantasy and New World are tied for the second best chat. I don't know. Like, yeah, that's what I would say. Bias again? It's not bias. It is what it is. Yeah, if people like if people like what they have in Guild Wars 2, I mean, I'll take your word for it. I'm glad. I haven't played it, so I don't know. WoW chat sucks? No, it doesn't.
Very cathartic for me, as I've got thousands of hours in the genre. It's literally my job to play MMOs day in and day out. Taking a break isn't really an option at the moment. It's been a double-edged sword, as it's forced me to put more hours into the genre than I normally would have, but it's also forced me to go out and experience more MMOs than I normally would have. Branching out and diving into every new MMO launch and every great MMO expansion, regardless of the MMO, has reinvigorated—
What's that idiot doing? Like, I've never played
MMO
this game.
And every great MMO
Look at him. He's running through. Let me fucking guess. The red circle is something you're supposed to run away from the group with.
expansion,
And what the hell is he doing?
of the
There's no way. Like, guaranteed he's fucking this up. I never played this game before in my life. I know he's fucking it up. Played on stream? Yeah, I played it 2 days.
MMO has reinvigorated my love for the genre. As soon as I finish an expansion and I log in to see the treadmill of dailies waiting for me, I usually move on to the next MMO. There really are a lot of great MMO options out there right now if you give them a chance. And if you already tried them and hated all of them, it becomes a "it's not us, it's you" type of situation. It's not that every MMO in the world is simultaneously bad and that millions of people enjoying them are all just wrong. It's likely you are in a place where you can't enjoy.
I think that could be possible too.
By them, either due to burnout or responsibilities that you didn't used to have, like family and children. Maybe your life doesn't afford you the time to play MMOs in a way that you enjoy without making you feel guilty about it. And that guilt can put so much pressure on the experience. It can cause you to feel like your hobby is a waste of time.
I don't have a single
remind
piece
yourself
of this
that
year.
hobbies are meant to be that time in your life where the sole purpose is to enjoy your time, not be productive with it. Give yourself permission to enjoy your hobby. You've earned it.
I can't enjoy video games unless I'm being efficient in them. If I know that I'm playing badly, I'm not having fun.
Try to remember that. Hopefully one of the items on this list helps you regain your love for the genre. What do you feel is preventing
like a
you
mental
from enjoying
disorder.
MMOs? Have you done anything that worked? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you ever feel like shooting the breeze about MMOs rather than playing them, swing by my stream over at twitch.tv/luckyghost. I'm probably there talking about MMOs right now, and I'd love to talk to you about it. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe for more MMO content and leave a comment down below for the algorithm. Massive shout out to my YouTube members for supporting the channel in the big way that you do. To become a YouTube member for access to behind the scenes footage, a private Discord channel, and more, hit the join button below. Sincerely, thank you for watching. And if you're not sure what to do next, maybe check out one of the videos popping up on screen right now.
I'm glad I got a chance to watch that. I think that was a pretty good video. Guess what MMO Lucky Ghost plays on his main? I don't know. It looks like he played a lot of New World and ESO. Those were the majority of them. Yeah, I'll link you guys that. You saw Ghostcrawler tweet? I'll talk about it in just a minute, okay? I'll pull it up. Give me a sec. But yeah, it was a great video. I like this a lot. I think that also more people need a reality check to not just play video games and just get pissed off about them and mad because the video game isn't what they want it to be. I think that's extremely unhealthy. Too many people do it. It's really dumb. So I hope people can move away from that and actually just start to enjoy games and play them for what they want rather than, you know, play them for whatever other fucking reason. Like, just try to do something that they enjoy rather than forcing themselves to play a game because they have to or they need to. I did that with, I remember I was playing World of Warcraft, I was raiding, and whenever I stopped raiding, my enjoyment of the game just improved so much. Like, I was actually happy again. It was crazy. Yeah, older MMOs required open world group farming, which improved the social aspect. That died with the instance stuff, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just that, again, I think the reason why I don't, it's very hard to say that you should have that in MMOs nowadays because people have changed a lot. And I think that we saw that with Classic WoW. The way people played Classic WoW in 2019 was totally different than the way they played it in 2005. So I don't think you can really, you can import like early 2000s game design ideas into a new game and expect the same outcome because everything else around it has changed. Even if that in itself is the exact same as what it was. Have we watched Diablo 4? I did. I watched the Diablo 4 endgame video. It was okay. I didn't see why people hated it so much, but yeah,